Stillness. Stillness can be as deep as life, as being itself. In the primordial ground, being is silence, and silence is being. When I was 20 years old, I had a death experience. I was in a situation in which I was certain that I would not survive the next moment. This certainty and the complete powerlessness to change anything triggered this experience. It was pointless to fight it, so I surrendered and looked death in the eye. I became completely calm, and in my mind's eye, the memories of my previous life came flooding back. But not as I had known memories until then, as more or less pale repetitions. Instead, a panoramic view of my entire life stood before me, and I could zoom into every detail, and it was as fresh as if I were experiencing it right now. But the panorama as a whole was also saturated with sensation, like the integral sum total of my life so far, a signature of what I had lived. And in the background hovered an incredible melancholy. Farewell, forever. This experience was embedded in a silence that was from another world, an unearthly, divine silence. I felt completely safe in it. It was infinite, eternal, eternal peace. It was as deep and rich as the primordial ground of being can be. The taste of it was deeply engraved in my consciousness. The event lasted only a few moments, and contrary to my certainty, I escaped, even unscathed. How happy I was, and how proud to have seen death and yet still be alive. But just a few weeks later, the event was forgotten again. It wasn't until 12 years later, when I was doing biography work, that this experience came up again, and only then did I gradually realize its significance and its influence on my path. At the time, I was in a nosedive into cynicism. Despair was already behind me. I saw only yawning futility and began to mock life. This experience was the turning point, a gift from heaven. The downward momentum subsided, and shortly afterwards the slow ascent followed. In my subconscious lived the experience that there was something else than the small world I had known up to then, and that I perceived as a madhouse. And this something else magically attracted me and focused my attention. At the same time, I noticed that the experience would not have been possible at all out of my ordinary consciousness. It required multiple times more energy and attention. For a brief moment, the soul must have been immersed in a considerably higher vibration. I explained this to myself in that the shock of death loosens the structure between the body and the energy body, releasing energy that was otherwise bound in the body. Today, stillness is always with me. It has become my constant companion, my anchor, my healing nectar. My life of insight has led me ever deeper inside, and one day it revealed itself to me because nothing stood between us anymore. Since then, I'm discovering the infinite abundance in this one sound that resonates through everything as sacred silence.